Hello.
Yes, hello.
Um,
Are you okay?
yes, I'm fine. I'm so sorry for being late. I was just having problems connecting, joining. But
Okay, as long as you're fine, that's okay. Not a big deal. Um, okay. Tell me, how was your homework so far?
I was able to do it. There was one of them where I had some issues, so I'll just share my screen.
Okay. So far, how is your current understanding of the object-oriented programming in general?
Uh, I think it's good as we go along. I start to understand more.
And I think the exam questions so far, I mean, I think you know what I am passing you is exam questions. So far it's not difficult, right?
No.
Okay, that's good. And your understanding of inheritance is becoming solid by time, or how is it?
Yes, it is. It is becoming solid.
Okay. And if you were to compare object-oriented to recursive methods, which one is more difficult?
I think it depends on the question, but I think recursive is a
Mm,
bit more difficult.
challenging. Yes, I know. I know that. Yes. So bear with me. I will still keep giving you exercises on recursive because I know that it is tricky to find a proper solution. So we have to give you more exercises. But I think the object-oriented exam question so far is straightforward, and I believe with little examples that you have written, I think you will. I touch wood. I hope you find no challenges in the exam. So yeah, I didn't see your screen yet, so let me give it maybe a few seconds more. So yep, I can see now. Mhm.
I didn't have any issues with this.
Can you brief me about your code, please?
Okay, so we define the function and we
Okay.
take the value as a parameter and
Okay.
we assign the total to 0.
Okay.
And
Why we need the total?
because it asks us to output the total, the number
Uh
of vowels, sorry.
okay. Okay. Yep. Okay. That's good.
And
Um mhm.
I
And
just put it,
mm,
and yes,
yeah, actually not bad at all, you know. I mean, if you didn't get extra external help, that's not bad at all. Except, can you run?
I need to put it in the main, run it. I think I already saved it.
So you pass it house and it give you, mhm. Let me see. So we have three, mm, okay, and we have O, yeah, U and E. Okay, it give you, ah, let me think. Hmm. So what you're printing is three, and unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, but it is a bit strange that it's giving you, um, let me think,
You
let me
kidding
think,
me?
let me think. So, okay, the ideal solution, uh, I mean, your code is working as expected, but you are using slightly different ways. So in the ideal solution, I'm trying to figure out why your code still give the same answer than uh, like the ideal, even though you are doing something that slightly might disturb that. So you're returning total and then, but actually you suppose not to return to, so, okay. we are not, we are supposed to return 0. When the length is 0, we're not supposed to return total, because I think I understand when you come here, you define total at 0. Okay, I understand that. But when we have a value that got length equal 0, the natural thing is to return 0, is to write it directly. Okay.
But I put that in just okay. So as we run the code, the length of the word decreases until
Yes.
it's 0. So once
Yes.
it's 0,
0, you return 0.
but
And
we're
then
supposed to output the total.
yes, but bear in mind. Okay, so okay, that's excellent question. So when you return 0, you do not return it here directly. I mean, okay. So when do we reach the base case? We reach the base case by from here, from this, or from this. Okay, and when do you reach 0? When you keep calling the total plus this a few times. So it means that you need to call this for a few times, like what you're seeing here. And maybe here only you hit the base case, and this base case will return to here.
Okay.
And so it means that we will roll back all our calls, and you will have to do an addition. You will never return 0 directly. You will return 0 to be added here with the total. Okay, now.
So
Okay.
can I try to change it to 0? And see
Yes,
first?
but is it the concept is clear? The most important is the concept. I
Yes, yes. Understand now that I got an explanation. The same output.
It is the same output. Yes. So yes, it is true. It is the same output. That is understandable because of one thing. When you actually, so when you reach that when you reach this base case, you simply was just returning 0, but you put in your code that you're returning total. At that time, the total is actually 0. So you want to approve, you come here, press enter, print total. But put it in, put it some double quotation, like T or with a colon and comma, you put the total here. So that at least we know what this number is what. So this is total. I think, am I confusing you? So you just have to you prevented me from writing. I'm not sure what you did. Yep. Let me see. No, I still not able to write. You have done something that prevent me from writing. Is it your screen is hanging? Luna? Luana? Hello? Hello, hello? Hello? Hello, hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Uh, my internet.
Yeah, it's okay. I can understand. I can understand. No problem. Luana,
Disconnected. I'm sorry.
are you able to share your screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Luana, I am not surprised because some days, it have some marks inside them. So some days you find a strange thing happening, and um, to me, I think today is a bit strange day. So what I'm seeing with you is not surprising me. I have seen things like that before. So if the day from the start looks like a bit strange, so weird things keep happening. So don't apologize. This is
Okay.
actually this is actually it's okay. I mean, yeah. Okay, continue running. It's okay. So as you see here, and just to prove to you, this only appear one time. And when does it appear? When the length is equal 0. So you don't even, I mean, in this case, when you output this t equals 0, you just immediately, after you define total equals 0, you print the value, you actually come here and test it, and it is true, and then you immediately print and return. Okay, and then you start rolling back. So you never actually come to this area. You never even come to it. Okay. So,
Okay.
okay. Now, so at the moment, we already proved that when we put it 0, return 0, it's still working, right? So let us improve the other part of the code. So again, the ideal solution would be, and even we have seen that before, is that we put a value here, and then we do the recursive call every time this recursive is done. We supposed to add something, and so this call should return a value to us, and the correct way is not actually to add the total here. The total is supposed to be returned by adding this number, whatever number it is, and whatever going to return from this recursive calls. Okay, so the best way is, I would say, remove the total and just put 1. So think about it logically. When I say if this condition is true, it's telling me what? It is telling me that I managed to find the first character from this input is actually a vowel. So it means I just need to put 1. And then I call again recursive, and I remove what? I remove the first character because I already know that it is a vowel. I need to check other ones. So it means that other calls might pass through this, which means that if they find that they pass through this if statement again, and they found there is a vowel in the next character, they will also add 1 here. So they add 1 and they call again the same function with a lesser character, and they keep adding. So this one, it will be added to the next one, it will be added to the third one, and so on. So we will have a group of ones that is added together, and that will return you to the total number of vowels at the end. So okay, so that is the trick here. But the totaling algorithm is totally different from this. We don't, I mean, in the totaling algorithm, we don't really use, this recursive. It's totally different. And yes, this is correct. But when we use the totaling algorithm, which is not recursive, it's totally different from recursion, you know? So I would like to keep this. You can comment it. You can just put a hashtag before it, and yeah, run and see. So as you see, you still get the 3. I understand that this might be slightly confusing at the start.
But I understood.
Okay. Tell me, your question is? You said
No,
but.
no, I don't have a question. I understood why we add 1 rather than putting in the total.
Yeah, okay. The thing is, I need to, if we need to know why your code initially with the total was working, we need to do more print statement to really understand how, when you added the total like that, it actually worked. Because suppose it gives a different value, but we need to investigate more. But I would say, yeah, let me try to investigate that and try to see that later so that we don't waste the time here in this kind of investigation. But it should be something like this. And I salute you for actually making these two different recursive calls. I mean, you add one and you add a number here and you call again to check for occurrence of vowels. And here you know that you don't need to add one because this returned false. So it means that you didn't find a character. So okay, I mean that is excellent. You are moving on the correct road. Just only a matter of more practice. So okay, I would say, are you able to share with me your other code, please?
Yes.
Your other code supposed to have some drawing. Did you know that?
I saw it, but I didn't know how
You can do
I
it.
would do the drawing.
Okay. Just brief me, please. Maybe you can close the console so that you give me more space to understand what you are
Okay.
writing. Okay.
Now
Now,
copy.
yeah, summarize me, please. What is it?
This one's copied onto the main. Okay, so the question asks us to make a superclass called member.
Okay.
And within that class, you have member name, member ID, and the subscription. So I set the member name, ID, and subscription to public.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave them these names. But when I tried to define the function set member name and ID and subscription, it gives me this error. I don't know why.
Okay, I think I know why, but let me confirm with you again. Um, hmm. Did he ask you to put the private variables inside the
No,
class? He didn't.
it
Okay.
didn't.
So mhm. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Um, so if you okay, let me just, it's actually simple. The error is simple. Is you here put underscore. So I would recommend, so you either remove this underscore or make it totally private, which means that you add two underscores. I think you
Okay.
still remember, right? When we put two
Yes.
underscore is private. So you either put now one underscore here to solve the issue or just remove.
So here I should put one,
Two. It
two.
should be the same, exactly.
It's still red.
Show me then the error, please. The error name cannot assign for type member name. Set member name, member name, member name. Ah, okay. So you need to use here self. Why you?
That was a mistake.
Okay. So that should be totally fine. Yeah. Dot. Okay. I think it's okay now. Let me try to confirm again about this. The requirement program program to process identified, draw inheritance, and then set. Okay, date of birth. Okay, I think your code is okay. Junior member, you took an input as a junior member, and then you in it you pass this. Yeah, okay, that's not bad at all. Set date of birth, and what else? That's it. What about the code to run? Did you write the code to run the main?
No, it didn't. It's
But it's
no.
part of the requirement, right? Oh, it's just because of you face the errors.
Yes, yes, that's why I didn't write it because I couldn't.
Yeah, but now are you able to write it? I think it's quite
Yeah.
simple, right?
Okay, so new member is not in our code yet, so I need to add it.
So identifier, he used the keyword identifier, which is tricky. I mean, because he know that the question is actually simple. Identifier it means that a variable name.
Um, they put your name here.
Yeah, it's not my name. It is an exam question, so it's not my name.
I'm just joking. Okay, new member.
But it seems that for every, I think they have versions for different zones, and they might use common names for the zone area that they are testing the students for, so that they don't feel that the names are slightly different. But yeah, that's possible. Yeah. Interesting. Um, okay, let me know. Did we ever try to print a class before in this way that you did it, or we tried other things?
Um, I think we did.
Did we? You
We
sure?
did. I believe it did. Think
Mm,
or not.
no, no. Um, this could be in other languages, but not in Python. So you are not able to print the language, the variable name or the object name uh, in this way. What you need to do is to be able to print it in this way. You need to define some functions, but I think it's not part of your syllabus. So the best way is to define and display info. That's one of the common ways. If you
Okay.
really want to print.
Should I put it under the junior member?
Yes, under set data date of birth. Yeah. No, the display info does not take any input, rather than it just used for displaying. So it is just used for how to say, printing out the content of the member, the attributes. So yep. So you print all the attributes inside. Can you use self?
Within the brackets or outside?
Yes, inside it, yes. Okay, just give me a second. Can you just call it first? Yeah. If it works with one variable, it means that it will work with every variable. We just trying to get the technique so that. Okay. Okay, so this display info is taking no input, but to be called, it is at the end of the day, it is a method that belongs to what? To the new member. So to call it, you have to put the new member before it. So you have to say new member dot display. So any method that is inside here, it needs to be used with the variable name, and we use dot to reach it. Yes. Okay. A problem that will occur with you if you mistake the variable name with the method name. So the method always need to be defined with two brackets after it. If you call that, he would think that it is just a variable. So there is an error. He cannot access member name. He said, we have no member name. So member name, definitely, because it's defined in the member, and you put it as private, means that he's not able to access it. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So the correct thing would be that you come here and you make a display info. Yes. Okay. One way. Just give it. We give it a try. Can you remove first this? Okay. And I would say it. No. This only for one. We are just testing. So Control Z. Control Z. Control Z. Control Z. Yep. Okay. Enough. So I would say, yeah, come down.
And should I change it here too?
Yes. Okay. Fine. Okay. Yep. Now try to run and see. So this is not the ideal way. So you are able to, oh, you're getting none. the member name is yeah, I think it's correct. Let me see. Did you try to? Yeah.
I think it's because we have all these other inputs, but we didn't put them in display info.
No, but it's supposed to be, I mean, this is correct, but I'm not very sure this none is printed from where. Do we have any other print statement that we are actually calling? I don't see that we are calling other than this, and we only, I got it. So actually, okay, when we have a method that got a print statement inside, we do not want to put the method in a print statement, because at the end you only print a statement if the method here is returning data. If it is returning data, then you need to print it, but actually it's not returning, it's going to print only. So if you remove the print, you will never see the none. So we managed to remove the none. So that works for everything, either in classes or outside classes. Any method that you call it and it doesn't have any return and it just have a print, so you don't need to call it with a in between the print like that. You don't call the method here. You just, because it's already printing, so it will immediately come here and print it out. Is that clear or confusing?
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
There's a print statement here, and if I put another one, it will print
none, because I mean, the purpose of this is not to return anything. But if I put return like that, and I put whatever here, maybe I put call, maybe I'll end it just to. So if I return like that, this text is going to return and going to be printed out here instead of none. So yes, but if you don't have a return in a function, no point to put it inside the print statement. You can call it directly like that, and it will go and print whatever inside it. Clear, right?
Yes, clear.
Okay. One concept I would like to actually tell you. So first we tried one thing, right? The correct way is that for every function, we actually need a display info. So it means that for the current function, which is a junior member, you need to have display info. And for the member, which is the superclass, we also need a version of this method, display info. So that what I will do here, my internal variable in this current class is only date of birth. The other member name and member ID, subscription ID, does not really belong here. So I'm supposed to call it using super dot display info. Did I make it clear?
Yes.
But because he did not define display info inside the super is what? Is a member class. Sorry, let me put it. So it is just only, we did that here because that was a fast change, but in the correct way, you go make another definition like this up in the member class. And so that when you want to print whatever inside the super class, which is member name, member ID, subscription paid, you just call this. And it will go and print out whatever you defined inside the display info. Okay. And then you come here, you only put one line. So you put two lines actually. One, which is calling super to display info. Second line would be the member date of birth, and you print only this date of birth because it belongs only, this is the only variable that belongs to the junior member. The other one supposed to be done by the other class. Do you understand that every class is actually separate? It have its own variables, and I'm able to, yes, they have relations. So I'm able to initiate the printing from inside my class. Yes, I'm able to do that. They allow you to do that. But at the end of the day, we need separation. So is the concept okay? Understood?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, so before you, I think maybe you can off your sharing. One
Okay.
thing I would like to share with you, it is just worth noting, but I would say I will let you know how it works, and I would say that since it might not be I would say it's an advanced thing, you know. So we have to be able to just, so when you did now, when you say I want to print junior member, and you put the class name or the variable name or the object name, you put it inside a print statement, and it doesn't work. You know what it show you? It show you OX and then some numbers. And what is that? These numbers is actually the address where the junior member is stored on the heap, which is a place in the memory. Okay. Definitely, we don't want that. It does not interest the user or the programmer or anybody. So the correct way is to make this kind of calling print something that is more useful, which is something that I already defined, is to define this kind of method inside the class. So this method is a standard, which means that you use it with any class instead of calling or putting display info, like I showed you now. The correct or the standard way that come with the Python is to make underscore underscore str underscore underscore. This you define when the class name is called like that, or the variable name or the object name is called, it will immediately automatically, without your interaction, without putting dot underscore underscore str underscore underscore, like without doing that, you just only put your object name, you will immediately print that. So this is what your variables that you define. So it will return to you this, and you're able to print it out. So it will no longer print the address of this variable inside the memory. So my advice, just as a simple teaching for you, just write only this line and then return, put any string, put underscore underscore str underscore underscore, just to show you when you put the variable, the object name inside a print, it will print whatever inside here. So if you know that, then later you're able to test it and use it, but so that we don't have to take more time from the class.
Okay.
Okay, but did you understand the concept I'm trying to explain to you?
Yes, I did understand.
Can you share? And yeah, we just want to make sure that we test the concept.
Okay, let me just see if the previous work.
But you need a main. I mean, you need to make maybe Control Z so that you get the previous code there. Yep. So you go down, instead of under the display info, inside the class, define a method def underscore underscore str underscore underscore, and then you open self colon, return a string just put inside it str, but put it in a double quotation so that it's treated as a string.
STR,
Yes,
right?
yes. Wait, it will show nothing to us. So I would say, I mean, we didn't call it. So what we need to do is we come here, print,
Oh,
and put like this, and you put new member inside here.
mm.
New member, exactly. You copy that name. Yes. Just be careful, yeah. Okay, now run, please. So do you notice previously when you tried to do this printing, it does not accept it. Now it accepts it because you define this kind of method, which allow you to just pass the object name, and it will automatically, Python is designed like that. It will automatically search for this underscore underscore str and print whatever you put here. So what you should print here is actually what we was planning to do inside the display info. But the
Yes.
difference now is that you don't have to call a method like you're doing here. You just need to only pass the name of your object, and it will automatically print whatever you define here. Did you get me?
Yes, I understood.
You
So
understood what's the difference between those? Yeah, you can tell me,
yes.
please? Yes?
In this case, we wouldn't need the display info.
Exactly. And this you are able to make underscore underscore str in the subclass. And you can go also to the main class and able to do the same. So both is possible that you can use them to make str. Is it okay? Clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay, that's good. You stop and let me tell you the answer of the exercise here. Give me a second, where you should actually draw. Okay, so basically inheritance is represented in this way. So we know that this is our superclass, and we know that this is our subclasses. One is called full-time and one is called junior member. And the arrow here indicates that this is inheritance. Okay, so
Yes.
your drawing or the answer for the question that you need to show a representation of this kind of inheritance is that you should draw these boxes or these rectangles with an arrow to the superclass or the base class. Is that clear? Is it difficult to understand?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, so I think this is a question that you should never make it. I mean, this is simple. You're gaining marks by doing something very simple here. So you should not waste that. So I would say, let's talk about containment. Do you still remember what we did say about containment before? What is containment?
I do remember.
Okay.
It's when basically one object is held within another, not, I don't know what to call it. Within another, I don't know what the word is for it, but yes, I do remember giving the example of a library.
So
within the library, there's books.
So, okay, we designed the class library, we designed the class books, and then we will make an object from the library, and we will make objects because I mean, you imagine it, we don't have 10 libraries. Typically, we have maybe in the university, maybe one library, in the school, one library. But inside that library, we will need tons of books, not only one, maybe thousands of books. Sometimes if a big library in the whole city or whole country, then it will contain millions of books. So, but at the end, we only have one library that contains that amount of books. So we will create an object from this library after we design a class of it, that library design, class design should allow us to keep inserting objects from the books, because we designed the class books and we need to create objects out of it to represent real books. And then we start to store that books inside the library. Did I make sense? Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So have a look here, because he now is talking not only about books inside the library, but he's talking about something else also. So he create a library, and then he call the constructor of the library, but then he takes something. Okay. So he take a librarian. So this is most probably a human that takes care of the library itself, or maybe handles the requests, or assist people inside the library, or even make sure that the books are in order all the time. And then we start to define books. And these books, at the end, book 1, book 2, book 3 is objects. And they come from what? From the book class. This book class, every time we initiate or initialize an object, we give it details. This is, we pass them to the constructor. So this is maybe category, this is a date of publishing, maybe this is the author, this is the book name, and we do that for 3 books, for example. And now notice that we make a method in the library that's called add book. So this method, we call it 3 times. Why? Because we have, at the moment, 3 different objects. Okay, we have book 1, book 2, book 3. And then we have something slightly complex here. We are calling library, okay? And then we calling this. This you will not understand now until you see the code, how it looks like. But let us ignore this at the moment, and we focus on library to display books. So library to display books, definitely it's a method inside our library function that will display all the contents of the books that we share. So can you imagine how many variables am I able to make inside the library to actually, every time I enter a book, it will store it? How can this work? Is it a bit difficult, right? Because at the end, this is an object, and this object supposed to contain attributes inside it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions before we move on?
So far I don't have any questions.
Okay. So sorry, actually this Zoom toolbar was actually hiding this. So I thought it is not, it's not here, and then it will come on the next slide. Can you see this? This is an object from the librarian, and this librarian is actually a human that at the end, this is a class, and I'm calling the constructor of that class, and I'm passing Alice as the name of the librarian that I'm going to use. And then when I created my object library, I passed the librarian object to it to be stored inside it, because at the end, the librarian have no representation or benefit if he is outside the library. He need to be, he works within the library. The library is his own job, so he need to be presented inside the library itself. So there is no point that we create it and then we deal with the object librarian outside the library. So we inserted it inside. So it also means that I need a way to store this librarian inside the library. So now let's have a look now how the library class looks like. Okay, let me go directly to the library class, because that is maybe the most tricky one. So if you look here, you will find, maybe you have guessed it or not, I'm not very sure, but if you see here, self books is actually an array. Because if you look at it, there is no way that you keep calling add books and keep inserting books and we keep creating new variables, because at the end, we only create class variables or instance variable that belong to the class only inside the constructor. So if you do not know upfront how many books you're going to store. So the only way is to make a list and keep adding data to the list. Every time you call add book, you append the new book inside the array. And then it will store that object, new object, inside this books array. Does it make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay, so okay, and we also, if you look at the constructor of the library, he accepts librarian, and this librarian actually we store him inside a variable, and typically because this is an object, so Python is smart enough to detect that this is an object, and he will store it in an object. So at the end of the day, this self.librarian is actually an object. So if it is an object, it means that we will have a name we will call the constructor, and we will have a name inside. So we are able to use that variable to get the name, and even to create patrons like that. So we are able to call this method on this variable, because at the end, this is an object. This is not a normal variable. This is not a string. This is not an integer. This is an object itself that have access to that other data. And that is, at the start, it looks like it's a bit complicated, but if you look at it, just only a single name can make you access a lot of data inside it and a lot of methods. So at the start, it looks complicated. Is it?
I'm understanding the general concept of it.
By 50% or more?
Maybe a bit more.
A bit more, okay. So are you able to silently look at the book class on top and tell me if that is there is anything challenging in the class book definition?
The last print statement in display info, what is it for?
You mean this?
Yes.
It's just to print. I mean, when he's printing, he is going to how to say, just draw dashed line on the screen. That's
Okay.
it, nothing more. Okay, so I would say, let me see. Give me a second. I will try to, because, okay, this code, when I magnify the screen and put it in a slideshow, it doesn't show the last two lines. Let me check here. Yeah, I can see it now. So if you look here, we have display books that is defined inside the library class. When I call it, it will loop inside the array, the list, and get, so we know that what is stored inside this array is objects that is representing the books, the different books. So every time I get an object, I'm able to use it to call display info. Where is display info? Here. So every book will have actually this information stored inside it. But to display it, I'm calling the display info using the object name here. I know that is a bit tricky. Is it?
No, it's understandable. Okay,
so we do not really, the brain will never fully understand until we start to write. But I will leave big part of this class as a homework. But I just want to only do one thing. I want you to write this class here. This one, don't write it yet. This is as a homework. And I would say, write this portion of the library class. So define these two. I think this is not a lot, right? It's just a little amount of lines.
I'm done writing.
Okay, you're done writing, so I would say go to this and write these 2 lines. Actually, not 2 lines, it's actually 3 lines. So you write this 1, 2, and then 3.
Okay.
Once you complete, you start sharing.
Okay, I'll start sharing now.
Okay. So I would say, let me see here. Self. It is not. Okay. Suppose it was. Let me see. Maybe we have some kind of error here. I would say run first. Is missing one required position on solve. Great. Patrons. It's quite strange error, supposed to not happen, but I got a way that we can try to write here. Give me a second. So I would say, okay, so comment line number 15 and come down. Okay, comment that. Yep. And then press enter, please. And then say L equal library dot library. Okay, run please. See if you got an error from that. No error? Nothing?
Doesn't print anything.
So I would say, let me see. If I say, come, press enter here. And if you say L, no, L only, just not EL, just this variable name, dot, go back, dot, yes, great patrons. Yep. Opal, no, you have to, this great patrons is actually a method, so you have to put brackets. Okay. Try to run and see why. Solve. Okay, something is wrong here. Something is wrong. Something is missing.
Name not be a parameter here in grade patrons.
Sorry again, what do you mean?
Should name not be a parameter here in grade patrons?
No, I think it looks fine, but maybe something is slightly missing. But let me see, librarian, and then you create here, and then you initiate that. It is correct that you are able to call library like that, and then you pass the Alice. Okay, let me try one thing. Can you use this variable instead of L? So you remove the L and put that variable. No, not here. No, not on line 16. Line 16, keep it as it is. Put the small L. And then line 17, put the other variable name. So I would like to understand, yes, but put with a small, because that is the class name, that is the object. So we would like to call it using the object. Now, yep, run and see if we still get the error. So it means that we are able to call that, but we are not able to call it from inside librarian. Let me see. Okay. The error here. So I got the problem. You see, when we call library, we take what? We take a variable name. You pass here the class name instead of the object name.
Oh, okay.
So do you know the difference? The class is only the design, but the real thing, yeah, okay. Now you try to run. I think you need to. So yes, what you need to do is that you will remove this librarian. Just put L, which is you created here. So I think, did I prove what I'm trying to achieve here? You inserted this variable inside library and it got stored. And when I write this, I actually saved the variable librarian, which the object is stored inside the library. I put it in a variable. And then that variable, because it's an object, I'm able to call on it great patrons method, which will print Alice name. And you know already that you created Alice here when you create the librarian object. Does this make sense? Does this connections make sense, or you got lost in the middle?
No, I understand. I also just want to know if we uncomment this line, will it work now?
Yes, it will work. Yes, definitely. So this tool was a step to troubleshoot where is the issue. So you can comment 16 and 17 and make 15 now start to work. So it should produce the same output. Now you see. So because at the end, I mean, this is a simple way to achieve. Okay, so you first get the variable inside the library and save it to a variable name or object, and then you call the method on it. But here I didn't. I automatically, from there, I call the library and I get the attribute inside it, and on it, I call it create patterns, and it works. I think this is a new concept. I think you never saw that kind of thing before.
Yes.
Because maybe we never stored object before. Last time, we only stored integers, string inside a constructor or inside a class. This is the first time ever that we actually store an object. So each object here, if it have methods, we are able to call it on it, just using this variable name. So this is a new technique that we learned today. I understand that it might be slightly difficult, but this is new concept. So it takes time to digest. Okay.
Okay, but I think with time.
Yeah. Did you understand by 50-60% or less?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Okay. Then see you next class.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.